Hi everyone, this is the Canny Couple, and today I want to show you my easy method for repotting your tomato plants or any of your other seed starts. This method will work for everything. But before we get started, please make sure you hit the like button, and we would really appreciate it if you subscribe. My name is Julia, Aaron's running the camera, and as you can see, I'm having to repot some tomato plants. I mentioned this in a previous video. I hate repotting. I really do.
But these got to the point that there was no option.
And I don't know why, because I don't know if it was these little pellet things we used, because these are probably some of the prettiest tomatoes
Prettiest tomatoes we've
I've
ever
ever
had
had
this early.
this early. They're beautiful. They look perfect. They're really good, strong. They're healthy. Like, you can't tell how healthy these things are. They are insanely strong. Actually, these are plants I could start putting outside to get natural sunlight. They're that healthy at this point, and we've not fertilized yet
No, this is no fertilization on
at
these.
all, at all. So my other ones are they look good and they're strong, but they don't look as good as these. So these pellets might be the way to go for us. They're a little pricey, but to me, it's worth it if I can get this sort of growth. But I hate to see, I hate to see, sorry, I hate to repot, but I've kind of came up with an easy method to do it. You're going to notice we have a variety of pots here.
These are all the free ones we've collected from everything we bought.
Everything we've bought. So you see we have some square ones, we have some round ones, everything. Now I will tell you, you also see some newspaper that line the bottom. We do subscribe to a local newspaper. It's like, what, 40 bucks a year?
25.
25 bucks a
Yeah.
year. Yeah, so it doesn't cost very much. I do line it because you can see the bottom of my pot has a big hole. This is totally optional. I prefer to do it this way. It kind of helps keep my root systems inside of the pot. That's my personal preference. And what I'm repotting with is the same seed starting mix I use. It is the coconut fibers and the seed starting mix, the soil. And then all I have is my soil in this little cup. It came with a cheap little seed starting set Aaron got me. I like it. It works just fine for something like this. So let me show you what we do. So the very first thing you're going to do, you want to fill up the bottom depending on the depth. So these tall ones are going to require a little bit more dirt, and also depending on the size. So this thing right here is going in this little itty bitty pot because it's very small, or this one. But these bigger ones will get them into the bigger pot here. Now you see here I filled it up about halfway. These wider ones, I'm not going to fill up that much. I'm just going to fill them up, and then I'm going to kind of push it to the sides. And then before I ever start pulling my seedlings apart, I like to get them wet. This is one of my tricks. So it makes it a little easier. It also pre-moistens them, so you're not having to worry about them being too dry. And it kind of just gives them a good condition to live in. And then you're just going to gently, very gently pull it apart, lift it out. Beautiful root system. And then just stick it in there. And because it has that soil, it has a nice bed to sit on. Let's get another one here. Break these off. You see these root systems just kind of got crazy. I probably should have repotted before now. Just, I hate it. I hate it so bad. It's like the one thing I will always push off. And then just set it in there. And if you're scared to get a little dirt on your hands, this is not your job. And then I just take this cup and gently fill my pot. Now this soil is pre-moistened. It does have a little bit of moisture in it, but I'm going to re-water these because I want to make sure I don't shock the plants too bad. And I'm not going to use ice cold water. I'm not going to use hot water. I'm going to use room temperature water that we have had set out. So we don't use anything that's going to really shock them. You don't want icy cold water on your plants. You don't want super hot water. I actually prefer to use the water we have saved up for drinking water. Pull that out and then we'll refill it. And I'll also fertilize at this point as well. then we're just going to do the same thing. And I normally like to do an assembly line when I'm doing these to make it faster. So what I'll do is I'll fill them all at the bottom, I'll put the plants in, and then I'll refill all at the top. I didn't want to bore you all with that, watching me fill a pot full of dirt. And that's it. That's really as simple as you get. You're just going to keep watching it. We'll get them back onto the trays. We'll actually probably do a little bit of switching around to get them to the taller shelf, or lift the shelves up a little bit so they have enough room to actually grow up. Because these are just going to continue to get bigger. But I will probably start setting these out in the next week or two after they've acclimated to their new pot, because I like to start, especially my tomatoes, I like to harden them off for a little bit longer than most people would. I do several weeks worth. I just feel like it gave me a much stronger plant, a hardier plant. We had a lot of production last year. So this is really our entire process. It's that easy. I feel like a lot of people can make it really complicated and overthink it, but it's really just have a pot, have a tray to put it in. We do have some trays here. We got these at Rural King when they had them years ago. So just have your trays to put them in, and then get them under a light or outside. That's really it. Now, if you set them outside and it gets cold, make sure you bring them in. And don't set them on like a cold concrete like garage floor where they could freeze. But as always, thank you for joining us. Please make sure you check out our link tree for all of our other content. And thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.